I spent a lot of time in 2021 traveling around Central and South America, meeting presidents, vice presidents, central bankers, and advocating for Bitcoin, teaching them about Bitcoin. And I remember specifically, I spent a bunch of time with the first lady of Panama at her house, just hanging out, talking. And some of her staff was there. And I remember they were so interested and had so many questions about Bitcoin, how it worked. And I had a great time hanging with them for hours, just talking about it. It was very interesting.
What was that like to be kind of in that space where you're actually informing governments or governmental people on what to do with Bitcoin? Like, what was it like to be in that position?
It's less about informing them what to do and more about just explaining how Bitcoin works and answering these questions and trying to come up with ways to explain to them in a context they could understand and how it could benefit their country. So I think it was in the wake of El Salvador making Bitcoin a legal tender. And one thing that we sort of believed was if we go explain this to other governments, they might also follow suit. They'll see the value in Bitcoin. And so I wasn't trying to sell them on any product or service or advocate for them to even start a strategic reserve or make Bitcoin a reserve currency or anything. I was just being a very neutral explainer of Bitcoin. And I would do little demos for them where I would give them a $100 bill and I'd say, but now you can give it to this guy. But if I take a picture of it and send it, obviously now we don't know which one's the real $100 bill. Bitcoin, that's the problem Bitcoin solves. You can send this $100 bill to someone, but they know it's the right one. If they send someone else, then that person won't be able to spend it because you had the one that's the right, for example.
Yeah.
As I do weird little demos like this where I try to explain, I try to give 10 different ways to do stuff like that with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was super interesting. It was very, but it was more interesting than meeting the presidents and the vice presidents and the central bankers was meeting the locals. Meeting all the local Bitcoiners, that was actually even cooler, getting to hang out with them. Because one problem that Bitcoin solves is related to financial inclusion. So there's some percentage of the world, it's not small, that is either underserved or wants to opt out of the traditional banking system because banks are kind of vampires. Think about when the last time you went to a bank was. When was the last time you went to a bank?
I haven't for years at this point, yeah.
You don't really go to them even, but when you go, they're always trying to just sell you on some shit. Really? Would you like to sit down with one of their advisors? Well, sit down with a banker. And I feel like at some point, a banker was like a respectable job, I remember watching Downton Abbey, guy who's the heir to the whole palace or whatever the country. I took a job in London at the bank. And they were like, okay. He's like, I'll be home here on the weekends. And his grandmother was, whatever is a weekend? A farm. They had no concept of a weekend, weekend, beding hours, all this stuff. So banks to me are rules that they're putting onto the natural order of things to try to create a structure of control to essentially trick us all into putting things that we have a value into these vaults that they control so that they can take it and loan it out to someone else and make money on it. And we don't even know how much of it they have ever. I don't know if they know, honestly. I actually don't think the banks actually know how much money they have at any time. Yeah, but they have a good guess, but they do not know exactly.
Yeah. Well, because it's always fluctuating, right?
So it's fluctuating so much, and because when they're loaning it out, they have different ways of handling this on their books, but they're creating new money. They're creating new money constantly because there's some percentage of people that they loan to that are never going to pay them back, and they have to find a way to allocate that on their books and profits and losses and stuff. So it's it just seems like a really broken, very bad system to me. And it's very interesting because now we're entering a phase where we're going to be using a lot more stable coins. The government's talking about stable coins. My dad called me about a stable coin stock the other day, so I think there's going to be a whole new level of transparency and accountability, which ultimately is very, very good.
Yeah.
It's very good. There's so many Bitcoiners fix the money, fix the world. And there's all these levels to the concept, but, one thing is that corruption happens through secrecy, through hiding the ultimate beneficiaries of things and by making bribes. And so in a completely transparent system, actually, you can kind of eliminate corruption. And in a system where the money is ultra limited, because Bitcoin has a maximum of 21 million, you cannot print money forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's him. I'm talking about how we're drowning in debt, but
Mm-hmm.
this is just, I mean, something I think about all the time. You look at the total of the world GDP,
Mm-hmm.
it's just going up and up and up. And the total debt as a percentage of GDP just skyrocket. So we are drowning. We're drowning in debt. The planet is drowning in debt. And this is one of the things Satoshi was looking at. And I saw the Federal Reserve announcement today, and every time I see these guys, I'm just like, can't they know? The more money they print, the less it's worth. That's it. That's what's happened to every form of money, paper money that ever existed. Now gold's different. Gold's scarce. Because it's hard to go and get it. You have to go and dig it out of these holes in the earth. Big machines. You have to go to really remote places where no one lives and bring out all this equipment, food. You have to fight the weather, the animals, all this stuff. It's very hard to go get gold. It takes a lot of work. But how much gold is there in the world? We don't know. We don't know. Actually, when the price of gold goes up, more gold is you can go and find more because it becomes more affordable to go get that really remote gold. But with Bitcoin, we know exactly how much there is. We know exactly how much there will ever be. We know where every single bit of it is. And if the price goes up, it doesn't make it more affordable to go get more ever. So it's got this interesting ability of a dynamic difficulty. So the more people that are trying to get it, the harder it becomes to get. Fascinating. That's kind of the ultimate unlock, I think, that Satoshi found that all coin people tried to do before Bitcoin. All these different technologies that happened before. Well, none of these things actually panned out. There are all these different inventions and things that they were missing these four critical elements that Satoshi came up with, right? He's an anonymous guy. I'll never know who he is or who they are. She is or whatever it is. But
who do you think Satoshi is?
I don't know.
I
don't know. I think I've thought different people at different times, and a lot of people think it could be this guy, Nick Szabo. And we have a whole section here about Nick and his thing called Hash Chain that he started in 1990, 10 years before Bitcoin, BitGold, and how it worked with this hash chain and title registry. Like how was it similar to Bitcoin? How was it different? So we have kind of its influence on Bitcoin here and other guys too, right? Ideas of digital currency. The NSA, what did they do? And, I don't think Bitcoin was built by any of them, but I don't think we'll ever know who it's built by because whoever did it had amazing operational security. They went to great measures to protect their identity. And they felt like they had a lot to lose by being identified, and also that Bitcoin itself would not do well if it had a leader. So, very interesting lore about Bitcoin. The myth of Bitcoin is kind of the myth that we still don't know. We'll never know.